Hi, and welcome back. Ted McClyman, author of the book, Discover Your Money Temperament, A Common Sense Guide to Financial Security. Now, you'd think of me being an author, a financial advisor, taught economics at the Naval Academy, written 3 books on the subject. You think I'd have this money thing figured out. Well, not so much. I just spent a week down in Florida with my siblings, finishing up the liquidation of my dad's estate and attempting to sell his house. So I thought I'd share with you in this session my experience and how the endowment effect impacted our decision making in listing, preparing, and selling my dad's house, and how you might learn from my experience. Now, to begin with, house for sale. How hard could it be? This is the best real estate market, well, maybe forever. And Florida is hot. People are escaping the Northeast. They don't like the weather. They're heading south. There are a lot of reasons. So we just assumed that this would not be much of an effort. And in the last 2 years, I have sold my own house. I built a house. I moved. So I think, this is not my first rodeo. Well, the house is a nice house. It's a great location. It's on water. It's on a lake in Central Florida, just south of Tampa. So we had meetings. We had lots of meetings. We had Zoom meetings. We had telephone calls. We had text messages. Me, my sisters, my brother, back and forth. What are we going to sell it for? How are we going to do it? Who's going to make it happen? Etc., etc., etc. Now, we were fortunate that one of my sisters actually lived near this house. So we took a committee vote and we appointed her power of attorney, and we were going to make her the lead, or we did make her the lead in listing, preparing, and selling the house. Hey, what are siblings for? Well, we found a realtor, nice guy, seemed to know what he was doing. He sold a lot of houses, told us everything about the market, that houses are staying on the market. Well, hours, not days. How hard could it be? And we asked a lot of questions. What are comps like? I've done this before. What's it like in other areas in the state? How long should this take? What are the costs? Etc., etc., etc. We were prepared. At least we thought we were. And we did everything our realtor told us to do. We got rid of stuff. We mucked out the house. We had garage sales. We sold stuff. And, garage sales, yard sales, that's where you take the stuff you don't understand why you had in the first place and give it to other people for really not a whole lot of money so they can put it in their garage sale sometime later. And we had open houses. Well, my sister did. We just sat back and kind of watched in afar on Zoom and through chats and things like that. But lots of people came through the house. Realtors. I mean, it was so exciting that people would just drive by the house and stop and ask us what was going on. We thought we had a lock on this. And we did get lots of offers. I mean, they just kept coming and coming. And we were excited. Man, we knew this was going to happen. Well, but everybody walked. We had about 6 or 7 contracts right in a row, and they loved the house. They loved the location. But we found we had a couple of challenges. It appears my dad's house was, old. I mean, we should have known that. My dad was, 91, 92 years old. The house was over, I would say almost 50 years old. He was the second owner. It was a model on a lake, so it was a nice place. But as we really started diving into the mechanical plant, which incidentally we should have done earlier at the beginning of the endeavor, that we had problems with the wiring. We had problems with some plumbing. We had some problems with the roof. So it turned out this house that was going to put, everybody here on Easy Street turned out to be a bit of an albatross. People were walking because they knew the potential, they loved the location, but they really did not want to put the effort into fixing the house up, to bring it up to code and make it to where they could just walk in and have the same kind of experience my dad and mom had in that experience for a number of years. So what happens? We realized we had to lower the price. Now, what we're going through here is what is called the endowment effect. The endowment effect is simply an emotional reaction to money pricing and things you own. It appears we as humans believe the things that we own, the things that we value, the things that we are emotionally attached to are worth more money than, well, anywhere else. So my house is more valuable than your house for no other reason than it's my house. You see, in the house in Florida, we were down there at Christmas. That was a place we used as a starting point for every trip to, well, Disney World or Busch Gardens or touring the state. It was a place to escape from the Northeast. We had an emotional attachment to this house, not only me, but my siblings. So this house was special. But why was it special? It was special because it was our house, and that's significant. But once we sat down and moved from our feeling brain to our thinking brain and really drove into the numbers and looked at comps, looked at costs, we realized we had to be more realistic. We had to figure out how to move away from the emotional attachment to this house and be realistic, and realized we had to drop the price. So we did. And almost immediately, we had an offer that was within the bounds of what we were looking for, and we have a contract. Is this success? We're not really sure. But I'll tell you, closing day is on the calendar, and we are confident, well, we hope that this one is going to go through. Now, there are a bunch of us in my family. I've got 3 sisters and a brother. And as you'd expect in a family like ours, there's an entire range of emotions in selling a home. There's an entire range of emotions with regard to money. Some understand money. Some are in denial. Some are not terribly analytical. Some dive in and get into the numbers. The bottom line is we had to balance the emotions of 5 siblings who had a very emotional attachment to a home. We were all scattered around the country. Our point of reference was the market we were in our experience. And we left it all on my poor sister in Florida, who really, by the time we got the price drop, she just wanted to get rid of the thing. So it's people on money in our brains doing very people things with their money. So where are we here? Well, the endowment effect, let me again, it's my stuff is worth more than your stuff. It happens all the time. Something even minor. Let's go back to the yard sale example, that you're putting prices on yard sale stuff that reflect your endowment, your attachment, your emotion to those items. But when somebody comes to the garage sale, they immediately want to cut the price. They want to bicker because they do not have the feeling brain emotional attachment as you do. So your value and their value are not the same. Fundamentally, what our non-conscious feeling brain is saying, if you're going to have my stuff, you're going to pay a premium for it. And I'm prepared to have you pay a premium to have the privilege of owning the things that I care about. How about that? Well, for small things, it's not a big deal. But when you're talking cars and boats and keepsakes and antiques and things that have been in the family for a long time, and real estate in particular, we can fall into this trap. And it's an effort that you have to sit down and force yourself into your thinking brain and literally run the numbers. The best way to do that is, again, have a objective third party who understands the market, who understands the item you're trying to sell, and they can give you a real powerful starting point to make the sale. Save you a lot of energy, save you a lot of time, and a lot of anxiety. So what are we talking about? Remember, so you're going to have a non-conscious desire to say, if you want my stuff that I love, you're going to pay me for it, and you're going to pay me a lot. Hey, It's because we're human. We do it all the time. So we realize money is hard. It is. We're not really good at this stuff. And I've talked about it before, but we know that in consequential spending decisions, you have to take the time to move from your feeling brain to your thinking brain. So you are emotional with your money. My gosh, I'm emotional with my money, and I do this for a living. I write about it. I talk about it. You'd think I'd have this under control. Well, I think I do sometimes, and then it creeps up and bites me. And I have to sit back and say, wait a minute, take a couple of steps, breathe hard, and say, I have to do what I talk about, what I write about. And when I do, the outcomes are usually much, much better. So here's what you need to know. Financial success is about managing behavior. Discover your money temperament, manage your behavior, and then your money. So, home sweet home. Hey, I wrote an article about this about a year ago. It's on my website. Go to tedmcclement.com. You can read the entire blog, and it talks about the endowment effect in more detail. So, thanks again. Hope this helped a little bit, because I know I have a feeling brain, and when my feeling brain is on money, well, I don't always make the best decisions. And I have to take a specific step to move me from my feeling brain to thinking brain. And when I do that, I have better outcomes. And you can do the same thing. Join me next week, and we'll continue discussions about, well, behavioral financial wellness and our brains on money. Take care.